Gemini, thank you for joining me with, let's try that again. Gemini, thanks for joining me for your, let's see, June 2025 reading. We're going to tap into the higher self collective for the sign of Gemini to find out any messages Spirit has for you, what energies you are playing with, what may be on the horizon based on what your higher self has to say. Okay, let's dive in. There's your Gemini card or your Gemini coin right there in the corner. I use the coins to find out which sign is next. Which sign is next? And you're up, Gemini. Ooh, look at that. New truth. It's triumphant truth. Oh, okay. We have Knight of. Let me get my glasses on here. We have Knight of Swords with the Page of Swords crossing it, which is very interesting because this is like you taking a step back or having a greater vantage point, right? And it seems like it's possible. This you're just taking this information, and you're running with it. We're gonna okay. Well, let's keep going, and we're going to get some clarifiers on that. Ooh, yeah, trusting yourself, going within like that. Okay, yeah, so you may be getting contradictory information, all right? So you have learned a new truth about yourself or a situation, some sort of like point of enlightenment, right? Um, that you had not seen or known before. Okay. You're ready, you're going with this. You're going with it. And now there may be like this page is also Mercury, okay? Mercury is a messenger, and the messages that you might be getting potentially from somebody on the outside. This may be like somebody who has an opinion about your life that may not have all of the facts. Because it does feel like somebody on the outside, somebody that's just looking at the bigger picture has maybe a different. That's just it's just so I was so interested in this energy here. I'm taking a few minutes with it because the Knight of Swords is like the fastest moving knight. He is recklessly speaking, recklessly going into something, does not care, gives no right, doesn't have any left to give, any of that. And the page is like you may be coming out, you might actually be coming out with a truth that others may not have been aware of, speaking to a bigger, wider audience. Hmm. And then there's the Hermit. This is really great. Okay. All right. Well, this is definitely spirit driving you because we have the Page of Cups here. That's inspiration from spirit. And I don't doubt that because we have the Hermit here. It does feel like this is your truth, and what you do with it is your decision. And you're tapped in. You're tapped into something greater than self, or just human self, right? You're tapped into this point of enlightenment, your higher self. All right, let's go ahead and get some clarifiers for that Page of Swords. What is this information? Oh, star. It's about your hopes, wishes, and dreams. Again, that's you connected to a higher intelligence. Oh my God. This is you. Oh, Jesus. Wow. Okay, we just kicked this up like 10 notches. What happened here? Like, I have to, you guys, really? Okay, so I told you it was driven by spirit. I told you we can see that. We can see that. All right. Well, here we have you all of a sudden just like have this realization like, oh my God, like the clouds have parted, the fog is lifted. I see it now like I've never seen it before. Okay. And what is it? This is what you have been wanting to, what you have been wanting to um, create, something you wanted to move forward with, some sort of dream that you want to realize for yourself, right? This is you and spirit completely aligned to bless your life with your spirit of creativity, right? Okay. This is judgment though. This is what kicks it up. Like we just literally skyrocketed this whole thing. This power that I was feeling in this card right here is coming from judgment. Judgment is like that trumpet from the higher, like the angelic realm, the archangels, the whatever, but version of you. It's not just something random in the universe. This is you, the higher intelligence you, the spirit you that had an intention when you came here saying, all right, you're ready for the next step, the next big phase of your purpose. This is like the clarion call. Okay. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the clarion call. I suggest you look it up because it is a big like call out to the universal, to the far ends of the universe. Like it's time for this now. Who's on board? And it doesn't seem to me like you really care who is on board because this is for you. Yeah, you may be communicating to other people. We're going to dive into that. But it's like you were meant to bring these messages out. You were meant to share this information. And there's no turning back. There's no turning back. All right, let's go ahead and get the Page of Swords and Knight of Swords. And yes, we have a new material. Oh, Gemini, what are you? What? Everything is the universe is literally handing you the exact opportunity that you have been striving for, hoping for, desiring. You are balanced, you are tuned in, you're tapped in, tuned on, turned on, tuned in, whatever Abraham Hicks says, all the things, right? This is new money or a new material. It's like a new home, new money, new car, but new job, right? Material possessions. And this, and when I say new job, it's like a new earning potential. Like you've made an advancement in your um like how much money you bring in, right? How much money you make. This Ace of Wands is a new place to put your creative forces, right? So what we're looking at here is potentially that new job. So when I say new job over here, we're really looking at the up leveling of your financial well-being potentially through a job, right? This actually is the job. What you are putting your action, your passion, your interest into. This is a brand new start. Brand new start. Okay. All right. So, and it's absolutely in tune with your purpose. Okay. Let's go ahead and get some information from that hermit here, please. Loving it. All right. Loving it. So we have temperance. Like that a lot because you're not doing it. So here where it might look reckless, and other people may be saying, "What are you doing, Gemini? This is reckless behavior. You don't have all the information. You need to slow down. Like what? Why would you go that route? You know, you may be being questioned. You may have naysayers. You may have people that are not necessarily on board with you, but this is coming from something bigger than just your human consciousness, and you know it. You know it, right? So, so now here we are, and this temperance is like, I'm not being reckless. I'm not being um foolish, right? This is the temperance is saying like I'm tuned in. Like this is the star here. I'm not forcing it to happen. It's happening through me. That's what it's saying. I'm not forcing it to happen. It's happening through me. Along with the Page of Wands, and the Page of Wands says that this new opportunity has kicked up. You got the call, you've opened up the door, you're taking a step into the door, right? You've opened up this new timeline, this new portal, this new whatever for yourself, right? This new avenue for yourself. And now you're you are preparing yourself to stay in harmony with this original call. Okay. So what you're doing is you're I think settling into. I think I think that you're like you're not going to force the next step, because the Page of Wands talks about not forcing the next step. It talks about preparing for the next step. Temperance says, I'm not forcing anything. I'm balancing myself. The Hermit is Virgo, which is, Mercury ruled, messenger. Is Mercury going into your sign? I'm not exactly sure, but that wouldn't be surprised, right? And I know it's real close. Anyway, so this is where you have the information coming from the right source, right? Coming from the right place. Again, not forcing anything, but balancing and organizing that information. You're drawing off of the universal intelligence, the quantum field of solutions, right? You're tapped into that, and so you're not racing forward with anything. You're preparing yourself to continually. I think maybe what we're looking at is you being able to how to sustain this. I know it's my calling. I know that I'm here. I'm doing it now. How does it become sustainable? That's what. That's where we're at. How does it become sustainable? Anything else for Gemini? Okay, well, freaky. This this is the Ten of Swords. I like that for you because this is it's a swords card, right? This is an air sign. So everything that you had been, the things that had been worrisome and bothersome and difficult for you to work out for yourself, all the details, all of the pain, and maybe even naysayers in your life. I think that we might be looking at people that maybe didn't necessarily have your back. They didn't have your vision. It wasn't theirs to have, right? That's over. That's done now. It's no longer the things that had been hurting you leading up to this or coming out with this, leading up to this, it's over. It's not going to be a painful experience anymore. Okay, let's keep going with that. Yeah, there's the hangman. The hangman being able to break free from patterns, old patterns, like seeing it from a new perspective, looking at your world from a new perspective to change, for ultimate change, for ultimate change. This changing subconscious patterning. All right, let's keep going here. Let's, yeah, Page of Swords again, along with the Page of Swords is almost tilted, right? Almost tilted, along with the Knight of Pentacles. And here we have the devil at the bottom of the deck. So this is definitely Saturn. This is Saturn ruled card, and you are breaking free of any binds that have been holding you back. And it could be codependent relationships, it could be addictive behaviors, it could be just the things that had you feeling like you couldn't move forward with what you wanted. Okay, you're breaking free and you're building your own new structure, which is perfectly appropriate right now with Saturn having just moved into Aries, which rules your 11th house of hopes, wishes, and dreams, and your network of people. Your net, oh my God, this network that you're tapped into is like the quantum field. Actually, is this network that you're tapped into for all this, and I think that being able to to stand up for yourself in a way that you're just not going to allow anybody else's opinion to affect you. And what we're seeing here with this Knight of Pentacles and the devil is that there may have been those people around you, okay, um, that have said something along the lines of like, why would you want to be an actor? Why would you want to start that podcast? Why would you want to write that book? Why would you want to do these things? You can't actually make a living out of it. But you're, like I said, you're pacing yourself and you're dedicating yourself to long-term success. You're not trying to force anything to happen. You're dedicating to yourself to long-term success. And I really like that because you can see. You see your vision. They don't. You see your vision. That's twice now, right? Twice that's come up. You're seeing it. And I think that really what is like you have your vision and you're going to let your actions speak for you. Nothing's holding you. Nothing's holding you. I think that you have there's a deep sense of self-ownership, of completely being secure within yourself to do what you feel called to do. You're answering your divine calling. And that's got to feel pretty wonderful. Pretty wonderful. So, Gemini, if you would like a private reading, please go to the description box and find that link. Uh, you and I can have that private reading to go deeper into this for you. Otherwise, thank you so much for being here with me, Gemini, for your June reading. I will see you in the next video. Take care.